That would have been superb.
People just wouldn't stop asking for drugs.
That's always a good job for a drug dealer, or a good problem to have for a drug dealer.
It is.
Do you ever actually tell people that you're a drug dealer? Because if I was a pharmacist, I would tell people that all the time.
I would say that.
Because when I go to social gatherings and stuff, I always like to seem like a real asshole. So
I
what
always
do?
figured
I'm a drug dealer. It's the widest joke I have.
that's usually my goal at social engagements, because one, it just lets people know up front about me, and two, I don't want to talk to them anyway.
I don't even get to do the fun part of pharmacy. I mean, I can still do it, but nobody
See, the problem
does it anymore.
is
Because we used to be able to sell poisons.
Oh, really? Like arsenic?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
You still
And
can, like
arsenic.
Coumadin and all that stuff. It's technically
Well,
still
no,
poison,
like
right?
legit, like cyanide, strychnine, arsenic. We could get access to it, but nobody really does it anymore. We still have an old poison purchasing book where you'd have to get people's name and information and everything.
It was like, you would use it as a mixture for drugs. It was like people
No,
would
it's for like killing fucking wildlife and shit like that.
Killing
Oh,
husbands.
okay. That too.
See, the problem is, Larsol, if you came up to me at a party and you said I'm a drug dealer, that would not get me to leave you alone. I'd be like,
Oh,
what do you
yeah, no.
got?
Yeah, the thing is, I would do that at parties where I wouldn't want to be there in the first place, because I wouldn't want to talk to any of the fucking stuck-up assholes, like corporate parties. Like if I got dragged, like my wife doesn't work at a corporate, she's a teacher, but if I got dragged to like a corporate event of hers and I was a pharmacist and people asked me what I did, I would say I'm a drug dealer, and then they leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, the only people impressed by it are usually
that's so
like
interesting.
groups of octogenarian women who have their pill boxes on them and want to ask me questions about their medications.
Oh, we see, now that's like me. I don't tell people I work in IT, because then they're like, I have this problem with my computer.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Yeah, it's
Is it
like
plugged
being a
in?
mechanic or a doctor. Just
Yeah.
lie about your profession.
Or, a carpenter.
I got a boil on my ass. Can you take a look at it?
Yeah.
Sir, we're at a Wendy's.
Yeah, I don't see your problem. Same question.
So, as a follow-up.
Can I get Can I get some fries with my rectal exam?
Follow-up question, is this mole on my testicle look weird to you? Is that cancer? Can you be sure?
Okay, since you bring this up, what is the weirdest question you have ever had as a pharmacist?
Weirdest question. I get some. I mean, it would for me. It might not seem weird to you. I don't know. God, let me think about that one. Because it always ends up being one of those things where it's like, what seems very simple to me may not be to a layperson, and sometimes I forget that.
I mean, I get that all the time, though. I tell people, this son of a bitch did this over at work, and it's something that's just done completely wrong, and people who don't do construction are like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I understand that.
Oh man, weirdest.
Yeah, was that miter a little open for you there, Fergus?
What's that?
Was that miter a little open for you?
Yeah.
I did. It wasn't so much a weird one, but I had a lady call me probably about a year ago, just absolutely in tears, begging for help. She was one of my relatively normal patients, and she said, Nate, I just had a drug test for a new job, and they said they won't hire me because I was positive for PCP. And I mean, this was like a 50-year-old lady,
Mazel tov to her.
Definitely not a drug user. And I'm like, fuck, nobody's used PCP since like the fucking 90s. And I started like talking to her. I was like, well, such and such, or do you know what fucking PCP is? And she says, no, I don't have a clue. I'm like, okay. I kind of start going through her medications, and I just kind of randomly remembered that one of the medicines she was on could occasionally pop positive for PCP. So she had to get proof that it was that. But, I mean, I always definitely get questions from really old dudes about Viagra, of course.
Have you ever had anybody ask you that question and you know for a fact that they just look and act like they smoke PCP and you know you respond with like, well, you should stop smoking PCP then.
Oh no, but the other day I definitely had a woman overdosing in the passenger seat of a car as she picked up her Percocets.
Oh God.
Yeah, she just said. I mean, we know she's a heroin user.
Holy
That's
shit!
what it
I mean,
is.
are you, so then how are you able to give her pills because you can't prove it?
Do you know that her scripts are legit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's very tough to fake them now. They actually, our state just is this year requiring them all to be electronic.
Do you have any like record? Like I'm guessing that she goes to multiple doctors and gets multiple scripts so that they don't know how much she's taking. Like.
That's actually really tough to do now as well because all states have a central monitoring database called a prescription monitoring service. And so I just look up their name, date of birth, match it with address, and even if they've tried to use different aliases and addresses, I can still find them. So I know exactly where she's gotten them, when she last got them, and how much she paid.
Which is really annoying if you actually legitimately get hurt and need them for pain. It's legitimately hard to get them for pain.
Yeah, it's tough. But they're overprescribed, so I mean, I get it. I get the reasons. But I mean, you know, it's about the closest I've come to calling EMS for an overdose. But I mean, it's like, well, she's about to drive away. I have no reason to not give this to her. I cannot prove that she's overdosing. I know she's overdosing. I just can't prove it. she actually, as I'm handing it to the driver, she like wakes herself up because she was so fucked up she burned her arm with her cigarette that was lit while she was fading. So that got her going.
In the past. I was gonna say if you were a bartender though, you'd be liable for that.
Yeah, I mean there is some level of liability for me, but it's like prescriptions are weird because legally a prescription is a like a contract. It's a legal document, and so. Like when you hand me your prescription, the prescription paper that you just gave me is no longer your property. It's mine now. I can choose to give it back to you if I want and I can't fulfill it, or I can hold on to it and choose not to fill it. I have a right to refuse to fill any prescription if I am not comfortable doing it.
For any reason.
Yeah, but I mean the problem with Emma is that like, you know, this lady, I've known her for years now, and I'm just like, okay, it's Emma again. She's just gonna get high.
Yeah.
But she's also attempting to work a program, and as somebody who is actively working a program as well, I've got to give her the benefit and say, you know, okay, because, you know, the doses are lower, they're trying to wean her off, I get it. She's clearly high on heroin, but I gotta choose a lesser of two evils here.
What state do you live in?
South Carolina.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we're starting to see a big resurgence in heroin.
Not North Carolina. He's not one of them fucking savages.
He's not a northerner, goddammit.
Fake ass northerners.
Goddamn North Carolina. I can't say that. I was born in Charlotte.
We won't talk about that. That's like Hitler was really Austrian.
Yes.
So
Australian Hitler.
that'd be funny.
I do remember feeling bad about one fragrant. It was when I was an intern. It was the first time having to sell adult diapers, which would normally be a very funny situation to a younger guy. But it turns out that he'd just been diagnosed with like fucking Lou Gehrig's and was going to be shitting himself with some frequency. So it became a real sobering experience. What would normally be funny, because anytime I think of adult diapers, I always think of like the SNL commercial, "Oops, I crapped my pants."
Oops, oh, there I go again.
Up and how do you know so much about oops I crap my pants? Because I'm wearing them, and I just did. I also always love, oh God, it's always just these incredibly old guys with fucking walkers and canes can barely get in through the front door, and they hand me their prescription, and it's always like 100 milligram Viagra, and I'm like, fuck yeah, Charles, get it. You know,
If you
it's-
can do it, good on you, buddy.
if you can maintain an erection and your wife not break your brittle little body, go for it, buddy. Jeez.
What's up?
We've got mages and shami's.
We should be ready to start.
Looks like it. 29 plus
29,
Jeff,
29 people and almost, you know,
Flash.
20 minutes passed.
Surprised Jeff hasn't gotten on yet. Son of a bitch.
What? You missing out on that Dragon Slayer?
That sweet, sweet buff. How else am I supposed to stay competitive?
My shaman got
With
the
your
buff.
skills.
Those are lacking, man.
Dude, you're good. Dude, you're good, chill.
I mean, we have cleared molten core with less people than this, and we're still sitting in Kargat.
We don't have an off tank. It doesn't matter how many people we have.
We have 4 fucking warriors.
How many of them are geared to off tank?
Yeah.
How many of them know how to off tank?
I bet Resher can pull it off.
If he was here.
He didn't raid.
Is anybody
He's
else
not in
enjoying?
proximity.
Is nobody else enjoying that we're just watching Resho's health drop
I just noticed that too.
while this is happening?
Was he in that
Resho,
duel?
Resho can do it. He's dead.
No. Why is he out of fucking... No, he's just right there. My bad. Sorry, Resho. I just saw that he was out of range and assumed that he was somewhere.
Log in. We're gonna go over this.
Well, I see Vinx running. I guess that means go.
Are we going?
That's the post cell. I guess we're just not getting the warning anymore.
Yeah, I'm not waiting for Warren Buffett.
Thanks. Can you post this?
cheese fragrant. Give it to me. Oh, fuck your dirty cinnamon bun.
If that's what you want to do with it, man, that's on you.
You're gonna make the glazed wood cheese.
Fresh and warm out of the oven.
Hot cheese glaze.
Like a fresh apple pie.
I tell you what.
Heading out to help summon.
Army's gonna be tough to beat tonight. World buffs and then weapons. Jesus Christ.
He's gonna fire water too, I bet.